What the fuck? Alright. Here's your problem. Alright, let's see if I can find a needle bearing. Hello, if anyone joined, I'm busy at the moment trying to find a needle bearing in all of my stuff. There's one, but that's not for... Hello everyone that's watching. I'm trying to find a needle bearing for this because this one grenaded on the saw in part. I gotta replace it. And I gotta find another C-clip. Of course that came off and got lost. Same size. I'm gonna be doing a short stream tonight. I only have this 362 to work on because the needle bearing came apart on it, and then I just replaced the carburetor on this 460, and for some reason while I was in the middle of making a cut, it decided to just pop and stopped working. Now I gotta figure out what happened. I get the feeling it was something in the new carb. And I'll take it apart and find out. And then I got another BR800 backpack blower that's got a problem, which is just typical. That sprocket got some wear on it. Alright, so this is an MS362. Hello, Cynthia. So if you're new to my stream, I don't really do instructional videos. It's just kind of people watching along and waiting for me to screw something up. Unfortunately. It's the same thing. See if this thing comes apart again tomorrow. I gotta find a C-clip for it now. Should have one spare, and there it is. It's the last one I got. So a C-clip is this little guy, and it holds in the sprocket and everything in here, which I should probably grab the washer that I had. Find it. It's in my coat pocket that I wore into the garage. Get this to pop back on. The reason it came apart, I really don't know, but the needle bearing that's in there inside of the sprocket and clutch came apart. Something ain't right. It's not seated in there properly. Just double check. Should be set up the same. Should be no movement at all in that. Now why? What's going on here? Clutch messed up? No. That goes over the worm drive. Where is the worm drive? Let's see if a different sprocket fits a different clutch drum. Does. What's the difference? Nothing. Just worn out. All right. See if this works. washer. If anybody out there has any questions on what I'm doing, feel free to ask or make any comments. I would have to take apart that whole thing. And it'll be fine. I'll test it tomorrow and see what's going on. If it comes apart again. Oh, what the hell? The needle bearing's got to be from a bigger saw. It's my last needle bearing. Spare clutch drums though. Well, I know what I need to order now. Cool. Get the bar back on. It's full of gunk. So with this other saw, the 460 that I have here, it's kind of weird. I just replaced it with a new OEM carb, and for some reason it won't run. But I'm gonna get to that here in a second once I fix the pull string on the BR800 backpack blower that came apart earlier on a crew. That's gonna probably take a minute. Figure out what's wrong with it. So, if you're ever working on a saw, try and actually use a scrunch that is made for this when you're tightening down the nuts. A lot of people like to use sockets and stuff, but they're made out of soft aluminum so that if you are tightening down, you can't actually over tighten the nuts without messing up the scrunch. Like taking them off with the socket's fine, but putting them on isn't. Run into it a few times at work where people have tightened them all the way down with a socket set, and I end up having to bring the saws here to my house to end up using a breaker bar to actually get them off. It's not fun. Like every steel part, unless it's electrical, is all T27. So I'm using a T27 head here to take this off. Recoil starter came apart. Come on. There we go. The handle, I guess, came off on them. We got a spare handle in here somewhere. cut this. So since it was just the handle that came off and the cord breaking, I can save the cord. Normally the cord breaks. This time it was just the handle. Grab my scissors here. Lighter will help. I don't have a lighter on me. MAP gas is a little overkill for this. Butane lighter is plenty. Try and get those frayed ends. I can fit it in here. Sup, Julia? It's not Saturday. Yeah, you finally caught me. Fixing one of the backpack blowers that got broken today. See if I can get this started or if that's too short. Still starts, but it's not quite long enough. All I'm gonna hear is people complaining that it's too short, even though it works fine. Jordan, I guess, pulled it a little too hard and ripped the handle off. Where is my dental pick set? Dental picks are great if you're working on anything, or reach in and pull stuff out. Or cleaning in tight spots. Alright, I'm not going to be able to untie that, and I'm not going to fuck around with it. Now I gotta cut this. Yeah, there's sawdust in everything. It's all over the floor. It's all over the table. It's in my pants, in my pants pockets. It's everywhere. All right. This is where the dental picks really come in handy. Feeding for pull cords. Here's where one-handed knot tying comes in handy too. All right, now I'm gonna cut this again. This chisel's working a lot better than my scissors, so. And if anyone says that it's really bad for my workbench, I'm aware, but I built the workbench, so I don't care. If it wears out, I'll just build another one. It's pretty terrible chiseling. My chisel's about as dull as the ones that we use at work. Really need to sharpen my chisels. Alright. Where are my shears? Cleaned up my workbench and put a lot of stuff away. And putting it away didn't help because I don't know where the hell I put half the stuff. That's where all the burn marks on the table come from, by the way. Much better. Get this put back together. Alright. On to figure out why the new card went to shit. I need an 8mm, that's 10. This is to get access to the card. Thinking maybe, just maybe, a fuel line came detached or something. Hoping it's nothing actually serious. Maybe a ground separated, I don't know. The saw will not start anymore. Yeah, she's alive. Yeah. The blower's alive, but the saw's dead. You got to see that 362 I was working on earlier when it came apart. Where the C-clip came off, the sprocket itself is worn out. I just replaced that, and the needle bearing that actually goes in there came apart. So it wasn't just the C-clip. Yeah. Well, no, this isn't. The saw I did earlier was from this morning. That's now ready to go. At least it's going to get tested tomorrow. I don't see any breaks in fuel line. I don't see where it sucked in any dirt or anything. Rounds look good. Get that tucked in a little more. Come on. Everything in here looks good. No reason why the saw wouldn't just try to start unless there's a more serious issue going on in the actual cylinder. But now that I'm in here and it's warm, I'm going to see if I can get the saw started. And if it starts in here, then it's just tuning the car better. And if it doesn't start in here, I'm going to start taking this apart a little bit more, making sure I didn't royally screw up. This saw stopped working on me while I was in the middle of taking a tree off of the house, so it was kind of important that the saw kept running, and it did not keep running. Did very much the opposite of run. Yeah, it was the 362 from this morning, one that came apart. It is now as fixed as I'm going to be able to get it tonight, and we'll see tomorrow when I'm going to run it for a little while, whatever we're doing tomorrow, and see if it comes apart again. If it does, then there's a much bigger issue. But we will see. I'm sure it'll be fine. Come on. I'm going to start this without the air filter on. Well, try to start it without the air filter on. Well, it wants to start. So it's definitely just a carb needs tuned. That's all. Definitely not the most ideal first run for it. Is when I needed it. And it didn't want to work. Definitely not ideal. So I was about, I don't know, 15 feet off the back of a 90-foot spruce that was on top of a house that was kind of holding the saw under me, trying to get an undercut, and it just shut off. It wouldn't run at all. I couldn't get it started again. I would have much preferred to give it a test run before I seriously needed it with the new carb. Not do it in the middle of really seriously needing the saw, but weather not give me that opportunity. Trees are gonna fall on houses no matter what, I guess. Tree doesn't want care. Alright. Well, it's certainly running. sure every one of my neighbors could hear that too. This oil air filter is a little dirty. What I do, I have a box of air filters somewhere here. I'm going to swap it out. I've got to find them first. Yeah, finding them. Shit. Whatever. It'll be fine. Oh, wait. There. Brand new one. Found them. They're under the table. I'll tune this a little bit better tomorrow while I'm at work. Get it so it's running the way I want it to run. Oh no, I forgot my helmet camera. It was sitting on my dresser. That would have been really cool though. So we did. It was pretty cool. It was different. I mean, you'd gotten to see a crushed house, but you could have also just worked it, and then you'd have been there, and then you'd have seen it. Maybe the next time there's a major storm call like that, I'll make sure I bring my helmet camera. But no, this was it also probably wouldn't have been good because the neighbors were not damn, not too friendly, and I don't think YouTube likes it when people are yelling and cursing. Yeah, that was not really ideal. I had to censor the video because they were really weird people. You'd think if anybody out there, if you have a tree that falls on your house, you'd think your neighbors would be a little friendly and be like, hey, we understand that you've got to make some noise to get this tree off of your fucking house. But no, they didn't care. They didn't want us interrupting their Saturday. But got to work with some new people out of one of our other offices. One has only worked for us for about a month, and the other one's only been there for about 4 months. So some new guys, got to see something cool. Neither of them had ever been on a job like that before. We had discussed the day before about using a crane to get this tree off of the house, but the positioning of it, we would have had to have shut down a large road, which, since the house was condemned, it wouldn't be an emergency, so it was condemned after the fact, after the tree fell on it. So they shutting down that road wasn't really an option. It would have been at their convenience. And then we would have had to shut down the power line that went through there, and PP&L is notorious for doing that. Well, those Dublin guys that were there were totally different than the rest of all the Dublin guys that I've ever worked with before. They're not like them. The one actually reminds me of Ryan, a lot like Ryan. Much better than we're used to with those people. Alright, let's get this bar back on. I clean this first. Another thing, having a... Oh yeah, that's what I thought too. But no, he was not there. It was two brand new guys, so I don't know how they expected to be able to do this whole job by themselves, being that there was no trees that you could tie into to climb, to be tied into the roof, that were at least trustworthy anyway. There were two spruces that were beside that had phytophthora root rot really bad, that also were compromised. And then there was what looked like some kind of walnut. I actually don't know what it was because it was previously topped and half dead. But you could have tied into that, but it's half dead tree. It seemed like a smart thing to do. But then having a bucket truck where I could tie into the bucket and then walk around the roof was the only option. And neither of them could drive a bucket truck. So they wouldn't have been able to do the job unless I had showed up. Which sucks, but at least I got paid. There's a lot of gunk in there. For only having run the saw for a total of 5 minutes, it's full of shit. So if anybody out there is interested in some kind of chainsaw stuff, or even history, because I'm going to be doing long form videos here soon, if you subscribe, it definitely helps me get closer to that 500 subscriber goal. That should get replaced. I don't think I have another washer though. No, I do not. Well, when I order parts, that'll be one of those things that has to get ordered. Along with spark plugs. So I'm apparently out of certain spark plugs that I will need. Surprise tonight. You're actually the only person that has chatted, other than the one person that said hi. But normally I get a couple people in the first like 10 minutes of a stream, and then it goes silent like this. Apparently I'm a garage saw maintenance ASMR thing where everyone's just quiet. hate that idea. Oh, hi, Wes. They're intimidated by my peak masculinity. Yeah, sure. Sure they are. Nobody's actually intimidated by me. I mean, even the one retarded person in the shop isn't intimidated by me. They're intimidated by you. Yeah, he's scared of you, not me. Nobody's scared of me. This got bent at some point. Yeah. I probably should be scared of you. Might go buy essential oils from his mom or something. All right. The hell time is it? It's about 9:30. Yeah, I was only going to do an hour tonight. So I figured that was about as long as it would take to fix these three things. I got parts that came in the mail today, though, which was nice. So here soon, very soon, I can put together a 462. Make him buy. Yeah, you're gonna beat him up and make him buy shit for you. This 462 is gonna be coming completely apart, where that crankcase is gonna be getting cracked open. Because everything's getting replaced in it. Just got the new piston for it today. Yeah, it's the same thing. Except this one supposedly is better. So this guy, on the exhaust side of the piston, oh, dropping it, got a little chewed up at the top, but there's more wrong with this saw than just the piston. The carburetor was acting weird. It was making the saw throttle up. It overheated, burned up the piston. I'm going to end up replacing the bearing inside of the crank and just about everything else, and then testing this out. it's gotten completely cleaned. Every part of it has gone through the ultrasonic cleaner and really gone through, but I'm waiting on the crankcase seal and, well, all of the seals for in the crankcase before I can put this thing back together. That and the new carburetor when that comes in the mail here tomorrow, I think. It's tomorrow or... No, it's got to be tomorrow. Because Wednesday's Christmas Eve. So I'm not getting anything in the mail on Christmas Eve. But this is an MS462, I promise. But it is just the crank. Everything else got taken apart on a different live stream a week ago. And it's kind of just been sitting here waiting on these parts to come in the mail. And yeah, I'm still waiting. Piston ring came off just by doing that. That's great. But yeah, this saw was doing all kinds of weird shit. But it'll be back together and working, even though a saw shop said that it wasn't fixable, which I don't know why they said that. It was really only one part that needed replaced. It was still running even with the overheating and eating up the piston on the exhaust side. It was still running fine. Besides that, the M-Tronic carburetor, which was the main cause of the problem, is fucking $80. It's not like it wasn't worth repairing. It's a $1,300 chainsaw, so of course they're probably just trying to get them to buy a new saw. That's pretty typical. You don't really make replacing a carburetor, I think, still says you can only bill like 15 minutes or something, or 10 minutes for billable hours, which is not anything. It's like $30. But if you sell them a whole new saw, you're going to make 100 or more. But instead, they're just not getting anything. Frankensaw. No, Frankensaw's that back there. So that saw started out as one of the Chinese knockoff Holtzforma saws, and has since turned into all OEM steel parts or better. It's basically the same saw as before West Coast Saw started really doing all of their other stuff. They used to do builds like that. And that's what I kind of turned it into. It's got a big bore kit in it. It has a bark box. It has their aluminum plate on it. Full wrap handle. Everything is better than an OEM 460. It cuts better than an OEM 460 now too. It's a great saw when it decides to run and I'm not tinkering with it and messing up stuff by just putting new parts on it and not testing it out. But yeah, I don't really have much more else to do tonight. Everything that I had is now done. Like, this is the 362 I did earlier. That was just the C-clip fell off, which discovered it was actually the needle bearing that fucking disintegrated on it. Other than that, I don't really got anything else to do. Not on stream anyway. Unless somebody decides they have something crazy they want to talk about. Unless it's like the first time I streamed and everyone's wanted to talk about poop. Man, the viewers keep going from 30 to 14 back up to 30. Hey, if any of the 30 people watching like chainsaw stuff or want to know anything about chainsaws, hello, holy shit, I can't read your name. Hi, I guess. That is, not anything I can read. Yeah. Anyway, if anyone is interested in chainsaw stuff, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I don't care if you like the video. I guess it helps. I don't really know, but I'm very close to remonetizing my channel, and I need 39 more subscribers. I used to be monetized years ago, did videos, and then kind of fell off the bandwagon and didn't do anything for like 13 years. And now they have all these rules on monetization, like I need to have 500 subscribers again to restart everything back to where it was. So it would help. But if not, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. But I'm probably going to end the stream here so I can load this stuff up back in the car and go to bed so that I can get up and do it all again tomorrow. And no, Julia, I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. Not a fucking clue. I'm doing something that involves trees and chainsaws. Or shears. Or hand snips. Something that involves plants. Maybe. It's probably going to be shears. It will involve I was about to say a living organism. It could also be dead. It could be a thing. Living or dead. I have no idea if it's going to be shears. It might be shears. Which reminds me, I have a set of shears here that I got to take in. Echo makes terrible stick shears. And the spring system that they use is awful and comes apart and doesn't work. But that's beside the point. Anyway, yeah, if anyone wants to see more chainsaw stuff in the future, just subscribe. And I'm typically live maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And in the future here, I will be doing long form videos. I used to do gun related content, but I'm going to still do some gun related content. It's mostly going to be historical weapons. I collect World War I and World War II stuff, so if anyone's interested in that, that will be upcoming long form videos. If not, well then, if you don't like guns, it's going to be there, so I guess don't subscribe. Or if you don't like history, doesn't bother me. But alright, I am going to head to bed.